That wasn't a jab, oh.
That's straight bullets, man. Straight bullets.
I said Ebony Life type cinematography. That's I was likening it to it.
It seemed like a compliment actually, but you know it's also a jab anyway.
Exactly.
I had to shroud it now. I couldn't comment, but you people, because when I go school.
We're coming back live on YouTube as well. You got the straight bullets.
And you're listening to Smooth 98.1. Love music.
We're back. Everything Uzo Arukwe said, you're listening to Smooth 98.1, 11 minutes past 11 o'clock. Well, Cruz has successfully bullied me into starting a YouTube stream. So you can join us live on YouTube, by the way. It is youtube.com/smooth91FM Lagos. Again, youtube.com/smooth91FM Lagos for you to catch the stream, to drop your comment and as well listen and catch the behind the scenes jabs and deets. You know how it goes down. So if you would like to be a part of the conversation, we've got WhatsApp 0809-444-0981 is the WhatsApp line. Just remember to include your name and any other detail you'd like us to have. Then you can also call 014489981. We are currently talking about what the gentlemen have been singing. There is Irabor who said he's been watching Hijack, of which on WhatsApp, Tom Annie says he's been watching that as well, and not just Irabor. And he said also Fatal Seduction, and one of that I don't remember now. Oh, Tom Clancy or Jack Ryan? Yeah. All right.
So classic.
Okay, up next, Oris, what have you been watching?
Like Irabor, I don't think anybody has been able to miss the noise or the buzz about Fatal Seduction. So I've been seeing that. Although, unlike him, I'm not supremely impressed, to be honest. I'm still stuck in the second episode. Okay,
No, I wasn't impressed though. I was just saying it's typical normal Netflix. So I was just giving kudos to cinematography.
It's as you said, actually, it's pretty much just regular filler for Netflix content. But I just wonder why they never give Hollywood those kind of opportunities, these filler opportunities. Anyway, but yeah. So I saw that. I've seen a few episodes of that. I'm not super impressed by it. I think it's a little bit. The focus is on the raunchy scenes and not so much on the plots. So I have a big problem with that. But again, as Irabor said, the cinematography is quite brilliant on occasion. So it really looks good. So I think that's for that on the series level. Okay, I also ended The Idol, the catastrophic The Weekend series that pretty much people have been, I don't know if they are beefing it, so to speak. But yeah, that ended I think 2 weeks ago, and I was here last week, so I haven't seen it. Then I went back. I'm seeing this series, this sitcom VIP about a female vice president in the US. It's quite interesting. I wish we could have something like that. Could anybody do anything about Aso Rock? Anyway.
I think it will be an interesting one to delve into or to explore. It will be lovely.
Yeah, it should.
It will be.
Just like you don't need too much, just maybe three different sets or like location, and then just everything happens there. I expect it to be controversial. Anyway, yeah. So I'm saying that as well. As for movies, well, I think this weekend I'm nothing in the past week because I've been busy watching Wimbledon, by the way. Which, if you guys follow tennis, you should be watching. But Nigerians don't like tennis, unfortunately.
You can't say Nigerians. What data informs that decision and comment?
I feel like when it is the EPL, every weekend, there's noise on Twitter, there's noise on Instagram about the Arsenal match, the Man U match, And now the biggest boys are playing Wimbledon in the UK, and I have hardly seen anybody analyzing stuff about it. So anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much been it for me over the past 2 weeks, actually.
I will now withhold my comment on football and not turn this into a football show. But I would have you know that football is more or less the most viewed and followed sport globally.
Yes, but the elite sports, I think tennis is rated highly in terms of elite
No.
Sports. But yes,
let's not get into Formula One are more elite than tennis.
I was saying as compared to football.
Well, Okay, we said we're not going to turn this into a sports show. You've got Tega, you've got Total Football for that. Coming back now, we are talking about movies. And if there is anything you've been watching, you can actually tell us on WhatsApp 0809-444-0981. Again, 0809-444-0981. And you can call 01-448-9981. While there, you can also tell us if somebody else should watch that or should not. Maybe because you have sacrificed your time and you have taken it up on yourself.
Everybody else should be punished. You're punished. Well, meanwhile, I saw a Hollywood film, pretty new, House of Secrets.
Oh, yes, of course. That's part of the things that will be reviewed today.
Yes.
Irabor, have you seen it?
I'm yet to see it. I haven't seen it yet. Somebody has promised me not, somebody has asked me not to watch it, and I've promised not to watch it. So
okay, until the person shows up, or what's the idea?
The person shows up, yeah.
Okay. I can respect that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no comment. Lips sealed. Who are we to question your decision?
Exactly who this
I mean, hands up in the air. That's fine.
What are you guys on about?
Nothing at all. We just respect your privacy and we will say nothing more on that subject matter. Okay, so now that Irabor is out of the conversation on House of Secrets, Oris, it's just you and I.
Okay.
Talk to me about it.
House of Secrets, a little bit of a synopsis, or maybe actually let's talk a little bit about the crew. So it's directed by Nia Kimolaya, who I also think wrote it, with somebody else. I can't remember the person's name, but it's written and directed by Nia Kimolaya for the most part. I think it's the sound is by Tia. I mention is sound because I think the sound is an important part of the film. It's on Amazon Prime as well, and I think all the originals. As for the story, it pretty much follows a lady who had a quite what's the word? Interesting past during the military era.
Yeah.
And now that we are supposed to be in a democracy, that past has come to alter. But what happens would have implications not just for her personal life, but also for the country, which is Nigeria, right? It's not fictional, it's actually Nigeria. So pretty much it's a film that tries to connect the personal with the political. And while watching it, I was thinking that the most recent film I've seen that tried to do that is 76. Izu Ojukwu, 76 years ago, which had Victor Dominic and Chidi Mokeme and Ramsey Noah as the major stars. So it's something of that nature. But I think this is, there's nowhere else to put it. This is an inferior film compared to 76, I believe.
What do you mean by inferior compared to 76?
I think that in the history of New Nollywood, depending on when you want to characterize it, let's say it started from Figurine. I think from that moment up to this particular point, 76 is one of the best movies we have done, period. It's just one of the best, if not the best, Anyway, so in that regard, I don't think that House of Secrets is in the top 10, maybe top 20 or top 10, but it's not in the top 10. So it's not as good a movie as 76 is, but I think it had a lot of things going for it, principally the editing by, I think, Victoria Kujobi. Yeah, it's really, really, really great editing. And some of the pictures are really, really astounding, to be honest. And they did something pretty much interesting, which is like, they tried to recreate the past, although it's an imagined past. I do not believe that 1999, which is when the movie is supposed to be set, part of it is supposed to be set, was as old as they're making it sound.
It was that distance.
99 was not 70, it's not the 70s, But in any way, I feel like even when we see the Hollywood movies showing us the 70s, that's not exactly how the 70s was. It's somebody who is trying to show us his own
idea. Yes.
So for me, that's not a big criticism. The real issue I had with the film is, as with a lot of Nia Kimolaya movies, towards the end, something just goes wrong. He starts with a great premise, and somewhere in the middle, he kind of misses, this should happen, instead this happens. And it's no longer logical. So in this particular case, there's a young man who becomes important to the story. And he does something in the end, and I'm like, no, now, from what you showed us of this guy, he shouldn't be doing this. It just doesn't make any sense. But I figured what's happening is, instead of taking the hard road to writing the script, they're taking the easy path. Unfortunately, the easy path is also an unreasonable path. So anyway, decent film, to be honest. By and by. But eventually it kind of crumbles, and I'm not too pleased with that. So if I was going to give a score from 1 to 10, I'll say something between a 5.5 and a 6, only because the last 20, 30 minutes pretty much just fumbles.
Okay, before I go to that part, that seems to be a recurring feature in some of Nollywood movies that you have high expectations of. For instance, there was a part where Ijakumo, the boy.
Ijakumo is that's like a 3.2.
Hold on, just hold on now. There was a part where for some it started on a high note and towards the end it was greatly watered down. Hold on now.
I have so many things to say about it, but please continue, please.
That's true. I'm not sure we ever took your thought on Ijakumo.
I don't think I spoke a lot about that.
Yeah, everywhere will be bloody. All right, but just a little bit of it. What did you want to say?
No, I want to say that the thing with Ijakumo is, I've seen people say that, make that point online about how it starts well, but I'm actually no. The first 10 minutes of the film, that's the high point. So it's not like it starts well, like it's a 90-minute movie and then the first 30 minutes are good. No, it's the first 10 minutes, pretty much. After that, the entire thing is just like a big fat mess. That's what that film is, unfortunately. And I saw it in the cinema, so it's not like I did not wait until it came to to streaming platforms. I saw it back in the cinemas. I paid my money. I went to see that film with somebody. And I was just like, Tony Abraham strikes again.
You will not say anything else. He said he went to see it with somebody. When I said I was waiting for somebody.
Is that all you can hear out of this conversation?
You see the
balance. No problem.
Your vendetta will not be given airtime.
Stay muted, Irabor. Thank you. Now, coming back to House of Secrets. So now that you've given it a 5.5, you mentioned I started off on a great note, but then cascaded into catastrophe towards the end.
No, that's a lot.
That's what you said.
No. I said it
cascaded.
I said it crumbles. I don't have that much of a big vocabulary, Sean, please. I did not say cascaded into catastrophe.
Okay, I hear you, man. But what could they have done better if you were to reorder some things to make it a 9?
No, I think what needs to happen with me is somebody else that is not in the team needs to be in the room with me when he's writing. If he needs to write, if at all he needs to write the script, somebody else has to be there. I felt like there were parts of this film where the dialogue was just cliched. This cliche where you can tell what this person is saying next, and they do say exactly what you're thinking. Those are things that somebody who is a great script editor can edit on the page. Nobody needs to have that. No actor needs to be reading that. So if what is on the page, it can be arrested. So the thing is, I feel for me, a lot of the things, he's carried away by story. It's carried away by the visual, what's the word now? Jim. The visual razzmatazz, and somehow, he forgets that, this is the narrative. They should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And these things should proceed in certain logic. So what's the end of his movies? Almost all of them have said, something about the logic just falls apart. In this case, it's, this is not a spoiler, because, it's not telling you exactly what happens. But there's a burning building, and somebody runs into it. And I was like, wait, but how now, bros? Is this person Spider-Man? How do we have someone into the building? It's, anyway, I just felt like, no, this is unreasonable. And to be honest, again, even the way the visual effects was done for that particular scene, the fire, just like it is unreasonable as well. And I keep thinking to myself, several times I see Hollywood movies, and you can tell that what's happening here, somebody's trying to be innovative by introducing visual effects. But several times, if that scene is cut, it will do absolutely nothing to the picture. So I just wonder, why don't you just cut it? You don't need to see that. Someone could make a reference to the same. You don't really need to show us this. If you want to show it to us, let it be good. If it is not, don't show it. But Nollywood has its Nollywood ways. So I don't know. They just decided to do certain things. Because I'm saying this because I saw a film from Isojuku, who, by the way, who did 76. He has a film called 444 something. Yeah. Not a bad film, But there's a particularly unfortunate scene that recurs like several times, featuring it has what's his name, R&B, and Inse as the major stars, and the really as well, who is actually in House of Secrets. Anyway, so there's this particular scene where R&D drives a vehicle into a certain building, and because it's set in the past, they use it's clear they use a green screen. And each time they showed this, and I was just thinking to myself, you could cut this part of this film 3 different times, 3 different clear green screen. I'm just like, but guys, now, you've done such a fantastic work. Why are you spoiling your own work with this kind of decision making?
Okay. Well, thank you so much,
I
Irabor.
sound like the grumpy old guy, but yeah, I'm just unfortunate.
Okay, I didn't say
Irabor, we're
anything.
coming
No
back to
justice.
you. We're coming back to you after the break. Or what did you want to say again?
No, nothing. I was just trying to say you called Irabor. I thought you were referring to Oris as Irabor. I say it's not me. I wasn't the one talking. No.
All right. Well, we will get back to you to take your opinion on any other thing and, of course, delve into our trailers and what to look forward to. But before then, if there is anything, I think this is just a very tiny, insignificant, but again, the details, especially for those who are finicky. If you are going to make the 1999 look as old as you portrayed it, why did Efe really have such silky, smooth hair with great edges?
Well, I have to say this. This is where I would differ from you, Joe. I was incredibly sorry. I should have said this earlier. The scene where Shehu is describing, by the way, which I think is the scene where Sean Fakwa, as potential lover, meets her for the very first time. I think it is the very best. So they call it a meet cute in what's it called now in Hollywood, like a rom-com. The first time the boy meets girl. I think it's possibly the best meet cute I've ever seen in Hollywood. Because it's such a magic, I feel like it's such a magical scene. I make a joke amongst my friends that the reason why they say black men or Nigerians or people like men like white women, it's not because they were programmed like that, it's because they're programmed by Hollywood like that. You know, you see all of these movies and you see how they light up a blonde white woman walking through the door. So what has happened is Nia has done exactly the same thing for Efe Rile's character. And I saw the film, I was like, you know what, this is magnificent. If this film was in the cinemas, everybody will talk about that particular scene, because I think that it might not be true to life, like you said. It's in 99. That hair is so glorious for 99, you know. But all the same, I just feel like for movie magic purposes, that is an incredible scene. So if at all you must see House of Secrets, see it for that scene. The very first scene where Sean Fakwa meets a favorite
boy meets girl
in a
post office.
In a post office, it's remarkable. In fact, I'm like, you know what? For just that scene, I was trying to give this film 9. I was like, the problem is the last 15 minutes. But for only that, if the film was comprised of a single scene and that was the only scene, it would be a 9 over 10.
All right, then. Well, A for effort in that case.
Yeah, A for effort, yes.
Thank you for the explainer. And I'm guessing other people who were worried or at least confused about that particular detail have clarity now.
No, but women will be, of course, because they'll be like, this is too good.
It's too good for 99. But yeah, thank you. We'll go on that short break and we will be right back. This is Film Focus on Smooth 98.1.
Just music.
You know, all of us who are men are just excited. But then we are looking, wait,
what's going on?
So
that is some Peruvian, Brazilian kind of 2023 hair, flowing silky with well-laid edges.
Probably the 2025 hair, because it's so beautiful. It's like
you know, it's the kind that you write about and you say it's silky and it falls right off her shoulder.
No, for me, I was like, you know, it's a fantastic thing, because if you want like a thing that is like super, it's like a fantasy, so to speak. I think it's
we are back. Are you ready?
You're listening to
Yep.
98.1 for intelligent talk and music that puts you in.
And now we are talking about movies. You're welcome to chip in your thought and comment, opinions and criticism, disagreement as well. We've got our analyst, Oris and Irabor, and my name is Oluwashim Olusegun. There is a WhatsApp line that is open all day, every day. So just send your message and your name to 0809-444-0981. The call line is open as well, 01448-9981. And there's Twitter at Smooth91FM. YouTube is youtube.com/Smooth91FM Lagos.
so many options. Wow.
Yeah, just for you to be a part of the conversation and for your voice to be heard. All right, then. So let's get started with some trailers. Well, before then, Irabor, have you seen House of Secrets? Oh, you're waiting for someone. Sorry. I meant Love, Lost, and other things.
Show your what to do.
You're in trouble.
I meant Love, Lost, and other things.
Show a set leg for you.
Oh, nice. No, I haven't seen Love, Lost, and other things. No. I'm supposed
Do you
to go and
plan
see
to say it?
Yeah, I'm going to see
okay.
tomorrow by myself.
Are you sure? It's
Yes.
okay if you want to go with someone too.
They say you have a roster. Today is tomorrow's movie.
You said they are joining them. I only have crushes, only crushes.
Hopefully, you're
No
not crushed
roster.
one of these days.
I'm a single guy. Nobody's on my anything. I'm there. So that's it.
A simple man by nature.
Simple man by nature. I don't like wahala. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But really,
Have
I'm
you
going to
seen
see it tomorrow.
Okay. Have you seen it, Oris?
Yeah, I think I talked about it briefly.
Yeah, because we were every other person was yet to see it. So now you can talk about it fully.
I haven't spoken, so I feel like it's different because I saw it because of the festival I was part of the jury. So it was like small screen stuff. So I think I want to see it again on the big screen. So we could wait for that, or we could just talk about the fact that it's a Kayode Kasum movie, which, as you know, means two things. Funny, I'm thinking about it now. Kayode Kasum has a version of the Ebony Life format. Funny, and I don't think they've actually worked together. Because I think anyway, the two things I was saying, the two features of Kayode Kasum movies are also features of Ebony Life photographers. A lot of celebrities and a lot of color. Which is what you see for this film as well. But this one has a more, if I can use the word, this is like lunchtime, so you can say it right. A little bit more sexy than the Ebony Life movies.
Okay.
Well, it's true. It's true. It's what's her name? Osas?
Sexy or steamy?
Both. But the thing is, I never believed that if you want steamy, like Irabor said, the South African film, the fatal whatever seduction is that kind of a thing. But I feel like when it comes to steamy scenes and Nollywood, haven't quite figured out how to make the process of the protocol of sex appear decent, appear good enough on screen. So that's why I was very happy about Nyaki Molayo's attempts at the meet cute, because he did that one well. Maybe one day somebody will crack the sex thing, but for now we haven't done it quite.
I think Moses Inwang.
Oh, Moses. I hope you're not trying to take us back to his film with Omotola Jalade. What's the name of that?
No.
Alter Ego, which was like a real mess.
Cold feet.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen Cold Feet, but I remember that a lot of the advance notice for Omotola's film with him, Alter Ego, was about, because the lead character was supposed to be a sex maniac, and she had a number of sex scenes. And I remember watching one and I was like, really, this is how sex works? That means I'm a virgin. Anyway, the end.
It's 11:33. Oris, people are at work. They are in the offices. They're driving, probably with their children.
No, they're not children. Please, they should go to school.
Schools are going on break.
Who would be having children right now at 11:33 listening to shows like this? No, now come on.
No, please.
What if they're in their cars?
What are they doing?
Only adults that are
grocery shopping
that are listening to radio right now.
Well, what if somebody is fasting and listening?
Please, I beg. It's a movie show, and as you know, a lot of movies have.
Listener's discretion is advised.
Exactly. Maybe that should be the intro to the show.
What's that?
Listener's discretion is advised.
Not on smooth, please. You will not rewrite.
Anyway, yes. Let me. I think I'm through with that. So, but I would see Cold Feet. Let me see whether Irabor is right about like Medicine Wang's aptitude for sex scenes.
All right, Irabor, any words before we move to the trailers?
Oh yes, Oris is right. We welcome every genre of movies in Nollywood. My own is, if you're not going to do that type of thing because it's sexual, if you can't do it well, leave it.
Exactly.
That's my own. Just leave it. Don't venture. Just leave it.
Yeah, but how will they know if they can do it or not if they don't try?
But they watch it before.
So again, another thing Nollywood stakeholders need to do is they need to involve people like Oris, people like myself, where they consult. They even if they're done with the principal photography, when they're editing, you can call people and ask their professional opinion so that they can watch and see what works, because that also helps. That's why people go to festivals. There are people who go to festivals and still tweak their movies before it's released because they've gotten reviews or whatever. So my point is, you don't know it all. Even if you know it all, you still have to, consult. So that's my own take, because it's sexual and our culture is, different from the Western culture in as much as we are trying to emulate it. Whenever those things come from us, we don't like it if it's not tastefully done.
Exactly.
Ah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, speaking of festival, there is one, Mami Water. Has anyone seen the trailer? I believe you have.
Has anyone seen the film? I have seen the film.
Okay. Yeah, that's both of you are festival centric. So did you want to talk to us about it? And is it something others should be watching? Now it comes written and directed, I believe, by CJ Obasi. Yeah.
Who was, by the way, the man of the moment sometime in February, because his film, at least to my mind, became the first. Well, he doesn't like Hollywood, so let me say the first Nigerian film from a homegrown filmmaker to show up at Sundance.
Yeah.
Like major.
Oh, wait, sorry, CJ doesn't like the term Nollywood.
Nope, he doesn't. In fact, the entire, they have a group, CJ Obasi, Abba Makama, and Michael Huken. They are not big fans of Nollywood as a genre.
What would they like it to be called?
I don't remember. I just know that they have a bit of an issue with calling themselves Nollywood.
I would really love to speak with them about that because I don't
exactly. Anyway, but yeah, so Mami Water is, of course, it's very off. Let me use that way. It's very off Nollywood. It's not a film that has, technically speaking, a lot of commercial potential in Nigeria, which is why CJ's decision to like go the festival route internationally and to the US especially was a very, very, very smart one. So it won the best cinematography award at Sundance this year, which is a big deal. I think it picked up a few awards here and there as well, since it showed up, since the premiere at Sundance. So we did show here, I don't know yet. I do know that Film One have a hand in distribution, but I'm not quite sure how they plan to like
distribute it
exactly over here. I don't know what that plan is. But yeah, but for the film itself, it's a film about a fictional village in West Africa that has a female leader, but she's not really the leader. The leader of the place is Mami Water, this goddess of the river, which all of us have probably heard about. But after a while, some years after, a group of men show up and they insist that the leadership of this village is not competent enough. So they want to replace it. So what pretty much is now how that whole thing is navigated. So it's a pretty interesting film. Again, unfortunately, I think that the last 15 minutes also crumbles. But before we get there, it's pretty decent. And especially if you want something different from what Nollywood provides, you should definitely see Mami Water. If you can see, because I'm not sure what the plans are to show it here. I'm not sure. I don't know what the big plans are. I saw it because I was attending Sundance virtually. That's the only reason why I saw it. So I wouldn't know what's going to happen with that.
Since again, we have the recurring problem of movies crumbling towards the end.
Yeah.
Maybe they should start writing those movies from the end.
No, but yeah, funny enough, I think I wrote a review 2015 or 2016 when Mildred Oku did Surulere. I remember that the headline, I think, my title, if I remember correctly, was The Problem with Nollywood Ending. For some reason, New Nollywood especially, have just not figured out how to end the movie. I think we had better endings when it was in the hands of the old timers, but since New Nollywood, although they too had their own problems because other their movies were ending in churches, even if it was unreasonable, but as it stands, we have taken Nollywood away from church endings, but we haven't quite figured out where exactly we want to place it. Yeah, because there are too many unsatisfactory endings and across the board. So you have mainstream Nollywood having that problem. You also now have off mainstream Nollywood also having the same problem of like, how do you end a movie? So I'm not sure what the solution is, but I always feel like because a lot of our problems in Nollywood start from the writing, maybe the writing team needs to be a little bit more sophisticated. And maybe that would just mean inviting more people to take a look at the script or take a look at the film once you have the first concept.
Or maybe New Nollywood, according to you, can excellently invent the old wheel and make it better, even though it ended in churches. Now we don't want them to end in churches, but
we don't want to go to the glory all the time.
At least have an idea from what they were doing right at that time. Just maybe, I don't know. Irabor, do you have any suggestion for proper conclusions?
That's what Charles of Play was trying to do, which I believe it's a phenomenal strategy. Like Oris mentioned, it's now becoming an issue of how to end it, even with Charles of Play too. You
Yeah,
know,
with him, yeah, it's a pandemic across the board.
yeah. So, but the strategy of him going into Nollywood, where you had, I mean, there was a time Mo Abudu was holding Nollywood down. You know, Funke Akindele at a point. You know, who else again? I think it was just that. You know, then Film One as well. But my point is, it's a good strategy from Charles of Play. But now the thing is, when you're trying to do that type of thing, you also need to go to the drawing board and start talking about the writing, as Oris pointed, because we've mentioned this several times. Writing, whether it's dialogue or the premise or the execution, like it's very, very important. All the other things, I mean, yes, it's nice to have a very attractive thing, a very, you know, eye-pleasing thing, but at the end of the day, if you now want to look at the substance of it, once it's now empty, it just gives you a very bitter taste at the end of the day. So Nollywood needs to invest in writing, in execution, in storyboarding, in research for their writing as well. So that, because the camera thing, I think we kind of have it down pat.
Yes, I
It's not,
think we have. I think we have.
it's not that we don't even have the talent. We have the talent. To me, I even think that as a result of all these things is why our talents are just becoming more lazy, not challenging themselves, and just, you know, saying, okay, I'm just here for a paycheck. Let me just do what I need to do. Yes, it's show business.
Irabor, do we
Yeah.
have? Do you think that? I mean, I think it's business. So I want to ask you: do you think the part of the problem comes from our unfortunate education system?
Now, Irabor, please, before you answer that question, we need to go on this break. But since we're talking about end, Irabor, that thing that happens towards the end of the show, where your Zoom starts to have that interference, is already started. So please,
Oh wow. So
fix your issue from your end, and we will be back. You're listening to Film Focus right here on Smooth 98.1.
98.1. Absolutely.
I'm not sure why that keeps happening. I said I'm not sure why that thing keeps happening towards the end of the show.
Hi there, my name is Mercy Johnson Okroji. My name is Joke Silva.
Hi there, I am Apocodox.
My name is Stephanie, aka Alicia's First.
Your boy Cruz with Joe. I love cooking.
I'm not sure.
Is it Oris that is talking to show?
Oil is power.
I'm not sure what my choice is.
Choose power oil.
Man,
Omega
I need a vacation.
45
3 months at a stretch.
It comes with different packs and sizes, so you
You
can
won't
afford
enter
it
my
without
handbag.
breaking the bank.
Oh,
I want something else. I can stay in the boot of the plane.
Days of our next release.
The real
I'm
Lagos
serious
Talk.
about this. The reason I want to.
Smooth 98.1.
Environment, political society is under the alien system.
Just look at all of these places.
The truth.
Your
Your opinions.
you know, right? Especially with inflation and everything. And
When you talk, Lagos listens.
Irabor is gone though.
For the top headlines,
He's not back,
the
oh.
daily essential stories about the nation as they
Didn't
happen.
Nothing's coming out of it.
Yeah.
From harsh economy to trickery politics, sports
The guy
to
not even there. When
entertainment,
it comes
we
from.
talk it all. When you talk, Lagos feels your pulse. Lagos Talks on Smooth 98.1, Mondays to Fridays from 9 a.m.
Irabor will join us.
Who am I? A filmmaker, a critic, a writer. Simply call me Oris, and you're tuned to Smooth 98.1 for everything smooth. Stay smooth.
Well, you've been hearing him for the past 50 minutes, no, 44 minutes actually. And that is the man, the myth, the legend, the analyst right here. What is shocking about it? You don't remember?
I was at a festival years ago, and a Nollywood actress was telling me that they're about to show her film, and she was like she couldn't.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so she was saying she couldn't be there because she thought it was bad luck if she sees herself on the big screen. So the same thing, I'm like, why am I hearing myself speaking this? True story, by the way, true story.
Oh, wow. That is interesting. Okay, well, Irabor, glad to have you back. Cruiser has a suggestion for you. He said he thinks it's a cable issue and you should check your power cable or earphone cable. But for
I
now,
was asking him something, by the way, before we.
yeah. Okay, so for now, everything is clear. So hopefully it stays for the next 6 minutes that we have to wrap up the show. So quickly, back to Oris's question and then.
What's your question?
was asking if you think that part of the problem with Nollywood screenwriting is from our unfortunate situation with education in Nigeria.
With our education system, right?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
I mean that I think, generally speaking, the education we get as a people is not quite stellar. Unfortunately, I think about it. I'm not sure that we have strikes, the budget for education is pretty low, all of these things that happen with us. And I think when I went to University of Benin, I remember that when I was in final year, I was speaking to somebody, and the way he was communicating in English, I was like, and he was in final year too. And I kept thinking to myself that, wait, if you will speak like this at this stage, when will you be fixed?
Well, before Irabor comes up with his answer, well, it is not necessarily, and English is not necessarily a measure, right? So hold on. If you had said maybe an exposure issue, maybe I could have reasoned.
So let me explain what I mean by that.
Right.
I feel like the traditional system for us is 6-3-3-4. By the time you are at university, you have been schooled more than 12 years of your life. So it does mean something if at that stage, at the end, you can't figure out language, which is English for most of us, So that's what I'm saying. So people say all the time that speaking English is not a whatever. Actually, it is. If you've been taught for more than 10 years in this language and you cannot express it well, there's a big problem. And I don't only mean English, I mean across the board. If you took a scholar, a guy who studied engineering from MIT, put it with somebody who studied engineering in UI, do you really think that the guy in UI is better? No. So that's for that. If you do the same thing too in English, you find the same thing. You find the same thing. Do the same thing too in computer engineering, the same thing. Across the board, we have inferior education. Why are parents taking all their kids to what's that school? Lekki British, whatever international.
You're going to pay for that adverts.
It's not an advert, I'm sorry. But my point anyway is that there is something about the educational system, and I think that it bleeds into our professionalism. Anyway, back to you, Irabor.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Having studied here and abroad, I mean, the difference is clear.
Exactly right.
My goodness, the difference is light years. Those who are jackpotting, trying to use school to jackpot, I'm sure they too also see the difference, despite the fact that it's not only school they are going for. Yes, education system has a huge part to play. I mean, I employ labor. I get people for NYSC. I get people who have done NYSC who have 2 or 3 years experience in labor market. And what I experience and what I see, my goodness, I mean, I've had somebody who has gone through university, who doesn't know the governor of Lagos State, who can piece sentences together.
That's on them.
So
no, it's not really on them. If it's more than one person, you know that it's a systemic problem.
You can't see an unruly person or somebody who does certain behavioral things and be like, that's on them only. Like we always say, it takes a village too. So there's certain components of that village that are, supposed to be leading the pack. So the education system, whether you like it or not, it is horrible in Nigeria. I understand the whole thing about building yourself, not making excuses. I'm the number one cheerleader on that WhatsApp group. But now, if you're speaking technically for what Oris is talking about, we don't have people that are even motivated to want to do better.
Exactly. Want to learn better. Exactly.
Yeah. If the foundational education that we have in Nigeria is top notch like that, yes, that's up to the point of the public schools that people are seeing the best. So whenever they become, 20-something-year-olds, that foundation has already been instilled in them, whether they like it or not. So they roll with that path. You understand?
Well, we have to wrap this up right now. Sadly, we can continue, but quickly. It's 49 minutes past 11 o'clock. We can't even take the trailers that we're going to talk about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have less than a minute to the end of the show, but there is Blue Beetle. There is a trailer for Blue Beetle. There is that of Wonka. I was hoping we would touch a bit about Kesari the King, but with what you have said, I don't know. Then we've got Sympathy for the Devil, as well as Napoleon, which is based on the story of Napoleon Bonaparte, or Bonaparte as the French call it. And yeah, some of those that you can look forward to. Oh, by the way, a Deadpool 3 in 2024. If you're a fan, there is a mashup between Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah. Anyway, since we're unable to talk about that, quickly, gentlemen, recommendations for the weekend.
I mean, let me go first and just say the movies I said about actually, which is of course the new Mission Impossible. There was this story last year about how, was it this year, early this year, that Tom Cruise had saved the cinema business through the Top Gun, the sequel for Top Gun. So let's hope that he can do something else with this one, with the new Mission Impossible. I will definitely be seeing it, and I hope anybody listening too will see it as well.
We hope it's possible for you to watch it. All right, Irabor.
Yes, watch Hijack. That's what I'm currently watching. And I look forward to going to go and see Mission Impossible. I'm a huge fan of Tom Cruise. I mean, the guy is one of those people who doesn't cheat the game like Jackie Chan.
Okay. No Nigerian movie?
No Nigerian movie today, so sorry.
Yeah, I don't think, yes, we have a lot. I think it's just Love that's in the cinemas currently. And as for the streaming platforms, I haven't heard of, I don't think anything new is coming out this week. So if you haven't seen House of Secrets, well, this is your chance. See it this week. And
you can go with somebody or not. Watch it with somebody
yeah,
or not.
I'm not even going to answer.
It's okay. The more the merrier, right? Get your popcorn and a cup of whatever it is you like to drink. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of the show as always. Let's do this again next week, 11 till 11:50, right here on the station that loves music and loves life, Smooth 98.1. You can catch Oris on Instagram at
Catch Orisgram.
And Irabor keeps it 100 on Instagram at
Irabor 100. That's how I keep it. I should really, go and register that thing, trademark it.
Well, all the best. Hopefully, it's not taken yet. Okay, now, thank you. And of course, stay tuned for more music on Strictly Soul. You should trademark the. Yeah. So you will have a lovely weekend, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Irabor.
Watch out the movies, make the memories, snap the pictures.
Okay.
That's on YouTube. Bye.